Hey everybody, Fran Burnell here with Accelerated Manufacturing Brokers, Inc. We are a company that specializes in the sale of lower middle market manufacturing companies, and we do it nationally. So today in this series, this is the 7th in a series, and I want to talk to you briefly about the importance of having a variety of ages in your workforce, particularly having younger workers in your workforce. So as an acquirer comes in to consider the purchase of a manufacturing company, they're going to want to understand the age and the skill level of the workers. I say this to my potential clients all the time. It is of huge concern to a buyer, and it's a real problem if when they walk through your shop, everyone in the shop has white or gray hair, right? So why are they so concerned about this? Because if the tribal knowledge within the organization, just like it's a danger if it rests within the shareholders, it is also a danger to an acquirer and to an acquisition lender if that tribal knowledge exists in a bunch of guys that are ready to retire shortly after the acquisition, right? So, and listen, I hear manufacturers around the country, they're always complaining, number one, about the skills gap, and number two, about the work ethic of younger workers. On the skills gap issue, there are things that you can do. Not everyone is experiencing this in the same way, right? Some are actually doing something about it, and so the skills gap is a little bit less painful. I've written articles before. I'll just share with you a quick story. One of the companies that we sold was really doing something about skills gap in their area. They were taking kids that were still in high school through a work study program and running them through every stage of the manufacturing process, but they started with sweeping the floor, right? And if the kid showed up on time, showed some work ethic, the owner would then run them through showing them SolidWorks, showing them how a machine is set up, showing them how a machine is programmed. And if there was continued interest in a career within manufacturing, he would walk them down to, they had a very good quality local trade school that wasn't far from them. And he would have the trade school help the student apply to see if there were any grants or financing available to him. And if there was, great. If there was a gap in that, or if there wasn't, this manufacturer would enter into an agreement with the young person to help pay for their schooling, with the understanding that the student would stay with them for several years after graduation. Listen, a scary thing for sure, because eventually that young person could leave to go work for a different manufacturer. But seriously, if you've got a good company culture, which we talked about in a prior episode, that is less likely to happen. So back to mergers and acquisitions. So one of the documents that we have our clients fill out in preparation for dealing with a buyer is an employee census. We don't put the name, but rather a position. We understand that, it might be somebody in the same industry looking for the acquisition, and you don't want to release your employees' names. But here's what is typically asked for and expected during the due diligence process. So the employee census, it has position, date of hire, rate of pay, date of last raise, and expected remaining years in the workforce. So this gives a buyer a good snapshot of what it looks like. And you want to see, anybody wants to see, not just young, not just old, but a good mix. So they understand that the tribal knowledge will be transferred. So this is in stark contrast to companies that generally sell at auction. Um, Most of the companies that I've seen over the years that have been sold at auction have made no effort to um, gain younger workers, to transfer the tribal knowledge. And, as workers age and you've made no effort to transition to a younger generation, you're really going to be held hostage by these older workers, right? Because your business becomes very dependent upon them. So listen, I hope you're enjoying this series. Again, this is the 7th in a series. Follow the link below and you can see all of the other episodes. And we hope to see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.